Inkalemina ko brenika sote. Vida bama ango brahasto koprine edokose. Liba baba 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 baba. Liba le kobe sako. Ebenezer, greetings everyone. My name is Prophet Chike Jideonwo of the Ebenezer Ministries. You are welcome to Dreams and Interpretation of Dreams. Please do not forget to click on the subscribe button. It is free. And drop your comments. You have a dream. You have a question. All right. Drop your comments. All right. So I'm going to do a quick video now. I titled The Beginning. The beginning. Now, what is the beginning? The beginning is the beginning of things. The beginning is the commencement, the foundations of things. All right. Now, Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. What did it say? In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Full stop. Now, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Now, I thought that there can be just one beginning to the creation of the world before I began to understand that and ask questions. The beginning of what? Christians always, we know, in the beginning. This is the beginning and creation of the world. And recently, I found out that was wrong. That was not the creation of the world. That was the creation of the beginning of the creation of a God's own kind of man, the Adamic race. That was not the beginning, as in the beginning. But then in Genesis, God was speaking to Moses. This was how I began to make man in my own image. Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. And now let us make man in our own image. The beginning of making man in our own image is started from Genesis chapter 1. That is a teaching for another time, and it's not for the spiritual babies. Now, every time the beginning, God is not in the beginning. God did not begin with the beginning. God already created the beginning, stepped into the beginning to begin to create the beginning and make the beginning happen. Let's get that straight. Now, because God is too big to begin, He is already in existence. All right. God cannot begin. God cannot be in the beginning, whereas He created it. So He must already be existing and created this stuff, stepped into it. All right. That's not the teaching now. You see, the beginning of things is always nice, always sweet. The beginning of that relationship, the man and the woman you are complaining about now, think about the beginning, always sweet and nice. All right. But something intriguing here. In the beginning, God created the heaven and earth. I think in verse 2, and darkness was on the face of the earth. There was chaos, there was disorder, it was messed up. Have you thought about this? Take a look. John chapter 1 verse 1. I'd like to read that. John chapter 1 verse 1. What did he say? What version is this? Okay, let me read from King James Version. John chapter 1 verse 1. In the beginning was the Word. W-O-R-D. Take note of that. In the beginning was the Word. And the Word was with God. And the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by him. Hold on. Genesis chapter 1 talks about the creation of the world in the beginning. In the beginning, God created. John chapter 1 is saying, in the beginning was the word. Meaning, what am I trying to revelate from here? What I'm trying to say is, hear me, brothers and sisters. God can start a beginning from anywhere. Your beginning might not be my beginning. There might be the people, other types of humans existing pre-Adam. That wasn't Adam's business. Adam's business was, this was mine. This is my own beginning. This is my time. Why worry yourself on what concerns others? Why are you disturbed? There is delay, so to speak, delay in marriage. You haven't gotten married yet. You haven't had a kid yet. You haven't, you are not prospering in that business yet. That man's beginning might not be your beginning. You see, Christians have to understand, until you accept this and begin to see it in another perspective, there is bound to be depression, frustration, anger, downcastedness, and all those stuff. You have to understand that that man's beginning, the man who you are trying to envy, who owns beginning, isn't your own beginning. God can start a beginning from anywhere. Your own beginning might be chaotic, like in Genesis chapter 1. But then, when it comes to chapter 2, God will begin to separate stuff, to make things look better and beautiful. All things will be beautiful at God's own time. You must understand this will curb, and this will put an end or limit all the social vices we are seeing. Scams and prostitution and wrongs and greed and selfishness. This will put an end to all this. If you can accept and be contented, strive to be better, strive, persevere, is all God is asking. The beginning for you might look this way, and my own beginning might look other ways. Your own beginning, your own breakthrough, which you might term the beginning of how your breakthrough started, might be in the year 1999. We are friends, we are brothers. Mine might be in the year 2010. Success is success. Breakthrough is breakthrough. What is his name? Moses began his ministry, was called and sent. Moses was called by God and sent at the age of 85. Joshua began his ministry way younger. Jeremiah, prophet Isaiah, and all that. Jeremiah, I knew thee from your mother's womb. I have called you a prophet to nations. This man's beginning was different from Moses' beginning. Moses, 85 was his beginning. And up till today, thousands and thousands and generations after he is gone, we are still following his model. Why worry? Why despair? God, just like the music, the artist was saying, I love this guy. God is my everything. So if the one who has everything and who is in control of everything has decided that my beginning should be tomorrow, why despair? Painful, disappointing, be contented. In book of Job, something funny happened there, and God began to question Job. All right? Where were you? Were you there in the foundations? When the foundations of the earth was being made? Do you know the origin of the winds? That is another kind of beginning that God was describing. And God said, if you know this, reply. So why despair? The things you can't change today, why despair? Why be so desperate as to take another man's life? Think about ritual and all this stuff. Why? Christian, understand the word. Understand that we serve a God of beginnings. The God who will design your life and pattern according to what he wants. As soon as you get this revelation, then so many things become easier. I hope I've been able to touch somebody's life today with this short teaching. Remember, Genesis chapter 1 talked about the beginning. John chapter 1 talks about the beginning was the word. If your beginning starts in Genesis, glory be to God. Your beginning starts in John chapter 1, glory be to God. It's the same God. God can begin the beginning anytime he feels like, anytime he wants like. It is predestined. The beginning is always the beginning. It might be different beginnings for different individuals, but beginning is always the beginning. God bless you all. My name is Prophet Chike Jideonwo.